This computer beige monstrosity is the best assault bike that your money can buy. Fight me. This absolute monster is the Tunturi F715i. Tunturi, if you don't know the company, they're 100 years old. They've been making bicycles for 100 years. Then they started making mopeds as well. In the 70s, they started making exercise equipment. In the 90s, they decided to def everything off except the exercise equipment. You can get their stuff now, and it is still incredibly high quality, incredibly well built. They invented, or at least produced, the very first bike erg. You're wondering about all this. Bike erg, ski erg, whatever. Erg just means ergometer, which means it measures the work that you put in. So they know a thing or two about this kind of thing. This one was made in 1989, which makes it older than me, and it is still going strong. There's nothing wrong with this machine. So to show you some of the reasons that this thing is badass, I'm gonna have to get inside it, and that's fine because it's 30 years old, it's never been cleaned, it's never been serviced. Let's do some of that. There's a fear sometimes when you're disassembling things that it was never intended to be disassembled. I don't have that fear with this. This thing is so well designed. It's chain driven, just like the Schwinn, just like the assault bike. They're trying to say now that a belt is better because you don't have to tension it and because it requires zero maintenance. See this? This little sprocket on a spring? That's a chain self-tensioner. You don't have to tension it. And it's a bit of metal, so it'll last forever. They also say the belt's quieter. It's a bloody great big fan. At no point am I sweating my ass off thinking, oh, I wish it was quieter. You know what I mean? Get a grip. Yeah, it's got a chain. You'll need to oil it at some point, but this thing's been going 30 years. Without oil, without being cleaned, without any kind of maintenance. It's solid, it's great. It has a tension adjust. That tension adjust follows this cable down, which is then on a spring attached to this belt, which has like a rubber brake on it. If you ever think that it's not giving you enough resistance, even on full turn, you can unclip this, pull the belt through and clip it back, and it'll be harder. Everything that moves is metal. Everything that interacts with something that moves is metal. With the exception of these plastic, I guess you'd call it a piston that runs between these two, but this has to be nylon because it's self-lubricating. Makes perfect sense. See in here? That's a bearing. Know what else is cool about these? It's an owl's head. It's got a big weight on the bottom, so it's always ready for your foot. You're never flapping around for it. It's always upright. Details. It's got these great little straps to get you stuck in, but if you're crossfitting or whatever, you want to do your stuff as quickly as possible, jump on, jump off, the strap comes off. Even though it's 30 years old, look at that. I've seen newer plastics in worse condition than this. Tunturi. Let's put it back together. See these feet? If you want to stick this to the floor, you take this bolt out and you bolt through to the floor. It ain't going nowhere. See these? Wheels. You got a home gym? This is always going to be in the way. Any piece of cardio equipment, 99% of the time, is going to be in the way. So you want it to be easy to move. Wheels. And the reason that I say that this is the best air bike on the market is that, well, for one, it costs £50. £50. And for two, there's nothing it doesn't do. Rogue Echo bike, assault bike, Airdyne, come at me with your features, there's nothing that this doesn't do. All right, there's two things that this doesn't do, but you'll see that they don't matter. So you're looking for a budget air bike, why would you go for this instead of getting a brand new Argos Special, for example? Well, see this? Metal. Complete metal construction. This thing was built to last. Anything that you're gonna get budget new now, and even a lot of things that you're gonna see on the used markets, are gonna be pretty budget still. Like this is not gonna be one piece. This is gonna be this bit, which then has two bolts, down to this, which has two bolts, which has two bolts. Designed to flat pack as much as possible, cheaper to manufacture, cheaper to get to you. This thing is commercial quality. and I will die on this hill. This has a metal fan. Now the Rogue Echo Bike has a metal fan as well. The others have like plastic metal composite type thing. I'll take the metal, thank you. When this thing came out in 1989, it cost about 270 quid, which adjusted for inflation is about 600 quid. Now that's not quite in the Rogue Echo Bike territory, but there was no hype over an air bike in 1989. There was no CrossFit, nobody cared. There wasn't a huge demand for specifically this. So all that money, it's in this. So let's talk about some things that it doesn't have. Seat adjust, fantastic. It doesn't move backwards and forwards. But there's some bolts under here, so you can change the seat. So if you want to put a seat on it that goes backwards and forwards, do that. In 1989, LCDs were a lot more expensive than they are today, so it's just a single row. However, it'll tell you time, it'll tell you speed, it'll tell you distance, it'll tell you RPM, and it'll tell you calories burned. What else do you want to know? Some air bikes now can do heart rate, but so can this. And I've got this on me all the time. I don't care. I don't care. It has a scan mode where it'll tell you time for a couple of seconds and then speed for a couple of seconds. Or if you just want to know one, you set it to that thing, it'll show you that one. It also has a timer. So if you want to go for a specific time, you tell it what that time is, it'll shout at you when you're done. If you want to go for a specific distance, you tell it what that distance is, and it'll tell you when you're done. Features. Now, if I was going to buy one piece of cardio equipment, and I did, it would be this. Why? Why would it be an air bike generally and not a treadmill or a rower or a spin bike or whatever? Well, I've had all those things and I hate them. I hate cardio. Cardio's the worst. But spin bike, just legs. Treadmill, just legs. Rower, full body, but it takes up more space and there is more technique involved. You can be a bad rower. It's quite hard to be a bad air biker. You can be better, but to be bad enough that it will hold you back or damage you, nah, not really. Hit on this thing will kick your ass in approximately 0 seconds. And if you want to do this, bit of low intensity, steady state, this thing is great for that too. You just go less hard. And it's full body. You are actively pushing with your arms, not just spinning this, which means your heart has to shunt blood all around. So that is upsetting and will burn more calories. So there's this, right? There's this, and this is £50. Or, let's check the price of the Rogue Echo Bike right now. 850 quid, and then you've got to import it. That's not going well for us Brits. Or you could be savvy. You can get on Facebook Marketplace, you can get on eBay. 50 quid for the bike. Then you could probably get an Apple Watch Series 1 for like 30 quid, and then a bike seat to bolt onto this, I don't know, 20 quid maybe. So that's what, £100. £100. And let's say that you manage to find a used Rogue Echo Bike. Let's say it's £700. You've spent £600 extra. Maybe you think that's worth it. That's cool. But for £600, you could buy a full set of bumpers. If you're savvy and you play the used market a bit, you could get a barbell, a squat rack, a full set of bumpers. You can get a lot of stuff for £600. That's a lot of pounds on the used market, when £50 will get you this thing. It is badass. I love it. I really love it. Yes, it is hideous. It is computer beige and gross, but I just couldn't give a toss. I hope I've persuaded you to save yourself £700 and spend that money on heavy things, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? We want the heavy things. This is literally just so that we can climb up and down the stairs maintaining a regular heartbeat. If you found this interesting or useful, do drop me a like, do subscribe. All that stuff absolutely helps me out and I would be very grateful. But whatever you do, my friends, get them gains. Be well.